A disastrous fire. First tonight on our news, live at 7. 29 families lost their homes as fire service officers fought that major Bay Street fire into the early morning. We've got full coverage of the disastrous ordeal, plus the major blaze renewing the need for additional resources for the fire services department. Our Joshua Williams takes a look back at commitments made to address the vexing problem. Meanwhile, a 31-year-old man is accused of illegally building on Crown land. What prosecutors allege and his bail conditions straight ahead. And then in our news at 7:30, the $5,000 payment to a woman after her dog bit a 5-year-old girl. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Blaze tearing through 4 buildings at the heart of downtown Nassau Thursday night, leaving 29 families to watch helplessly as everything they owned went up in flames. The fire spread quickly, stopping traffic and cutting power to the area. Firefighters fought the blaze into the wee hours of the morning, sending thick black plumes of smoke into the sky. Residents say the response wasn't enough. Welcome to our news, live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Berthany McDermott, in for Kendino Knowles. Officials taking a multi-governmental approach to contain that massive blaze, drawing on support from the Airport Fire Services, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the Ministry of Works, and the Water and Sewage Corporation. But despite best efforts, hours went by before the blaze was contained. We have full coverage of the devastating impact, beginning with the fire and how it progressed.
So the most important thing is life. But for me, was trying to save the building.
It was a devastating ordeal late Thursday night as firefighters battled a massive structural blaze that damaged 4 buildings in downtown Nassau. But even more devastating was the 29 apartment units at Victoria Court that were destroyed. Those residents of the 80-year-old building left to find a place to lay their heads. This is just one of the residents who told us around 2 a.m. this morning that she lived in the apartment building for 30 years.
This happened because no resources. And the people, they need to be trained and there need to be more efficiency.
But how did it start? Police Commissioner Shanton Olds telling us police were called to the incident around 8:30 Thursday night. When we got on scene just before 10 last night, officers were hard at work battling the blaze. Roads were blocked off at Parliament Street and Shirley Street up to the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge. But despite their best efforts, it seemed the fire continued to spread. Soon electricity was cut to the area and thick plumes of black smoke covered the sky. The matter called for more backup. The Lyndon Pimlin International Airport was shut down and the fire truck was redirected to the scene. However, the truck didn't get on scene until about 11:15. Resources from the Water and Sewage Corporation that were conducting works nearby were also called on to assist. But despite the additional resources, the fire still spread to the building on the corner of Elizabeth Avenue and Bay Street, completely engulfing the roof. Knowles telling us the wind posed the challenge.
We've had some strong winds out here, and the embers from the fire were blowing into the roofs and started the fires to the other buildings, and so unfortunately, we lost 4 buildings tonight. Water was not a challenge. We had water in our trucks, all 6 trucks that responded to this, along with the Defense Force, and we were pumping from the sea. So we did not have a challenge with water. We still don't have a challenge with water.
Communications Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latre Ramming, telling us Prime Minister Philip Davis was updated on the matter. However, this Victoria Court apartment resident believes law enforcement's approach to the fire was wrong.
All not happen because there was not enough support, and the plan, the contingencies, the way that they were attacking the fire was not the way they should be. First, when it's like that, you have assessed all the areas, have to go to areas that are with children.
This latest incident renewing the call for government to provide more resources for fire service officers. Joshua Williams joins us now from Victoria Avenue, where the brunt of the impact was felt. He has an update from the scene as well as a look back on recent fires that have put a strain on the department. Joshua.
Good evening, Berthany. Yes, I'm standing here at the junction of Bay Street and Victoria Avenue. Firefighters now beginning to pull their water hoses and lines as that fire has completely been extinguished. Crews now beginning the cleanup process to try to get this road opened up. Now, this latest incident is raising the question once again, why aren't we prepared to handle such cases like this? This year, firefighters have had their hands full, battling blazes on several islands, including New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera, just to name a few. The fires have shone a light on the lack of firefighting resources across the country, particularly in the Family Islands. Not enough fire trucks, non-functioning hydrants, or trucks running out of water have been some of the challenges. Back in March, when that wildfire on Carmichael Road threatened the safety of residents, Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles said the force was looking overseas for new supplies.
We are looking at new equipment. We have already visited 2 locations in Europe to determine if the equipment in those locations can assist us better. In a short time, we will present our documents to the government, very, very short time.
On the Family Islands, the situation has been more dire. Some don't have fire trucks or equipment, with residents making up volunteer groups to fight the blaze. This was the case in the Berry Islands and Eleuthera recently.
Where we fight the fire right now, a fire truck can't get. And so we have the right equipment with a tank on a trailer that we can get. We can just hook up to a 4x4 truck and pull it through the rough terrains to get to where the fire's at. That don't dispel that we don't need a fire truck. We need a fire truck.
At the scene last night, there were also issues, including malfunctioning fire hydrants that hindered hard-working firefighters from getting water. A fire truck from the Lyndon Pinling International Airport eventually arriving after 11, temporarily shutting down operations there. There was also the case last month when a blaze ripped through Solomon's Old Trail, the new course ride, and adjoining office complex that was slated to house several government departments.
We were able to get the assistance of the airport fire and rescue team and also officers from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force to assist us here. And so the efforts continue. We are now using water from one of the blue holes nearby to see how much that can assist us in knocking down the fire on this portion of the buildings.
And Berthany, it's certainly questions we'll continue to raise to authorities. Now, again, we don't have a timeline as to when sections of Bay Street will be open, but we invite you to stay tuned to our social media pages where we'll have the latest information on that. Berthany?
Thanks so much, Joshua. Clearly a rough road ahead for those families. Again, that's our Joshua Williams reporting live for us tonight. Of course, this is a story we will continue to follow. The impact of that fire lasted throughout the day today as road closures left traffic in the downtown area gridlocked. We spoke to a resident who frequents the area. She says she was always worried about abandoned buildings in the downtown area.
Every time I come across here, because I walk here, go to the bridge, come back, and I say, they need to take these people down, this down. Nobody was there. Nobody don't live there. So if they don't do it, then that's what happened. So, I just start crying. I just cry because we don't even know how it is, why it is. We don't know.
For this American visitor, it was not what she was expecting during her first visit to the Bahamas.
I had a whole different vision of it. Really beautiful here, though, but unfortunate that the homes have been destroyed. Sad because I have no idea where all the citizens and the people who live in the condo are going to go. It's sad to see their home destroyed.
Coming up in our news at 7:30, Delvardo Emmanuel speaks to a resident who shares how he lost everything in that blaze. Well, downtown wasn't the only area on fire in the past 24 hours. There was also a brush fire on Martin's Close just off Cowpen Road. When our news visited the area shortly after 11 this morning, firefighters were already on scene doing their best to extinguish the blaze as residents looked on. Shortly after midday, the fire truck left the area and did not return before our news team left the area. While the smoke was spreading, no homes seemed to be in the immediate path of danger. Up to news time, no update was provided by the Royal Bahamas Police Force Fire Division. A 31-year-old man is facing charges after he allegedly illegally built a home on Crown land. Prosecutors say Dylan Gomez built the structure in the Carmichael well fields without a permit. Gomez is further accused of causing damage to Crown land and resisting arrest. He denied the allegations at his arraignment before Senior Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. and was granted $5,000 bail. He returns to court on May 15th for a status hearing. And on another sad note tonight, talk show host and former Senator Rodney Moncur has passed away at the age of 68 after battling a brief illness. Moncur was raised in Black Village and educated at Oaksfield Primary and C.C. Sweeting High School. He began public life in the 1970s and over the decades has become known for his advocacy on social and political issues. Moncur was appointed to the Senate by former opposition leader Loretta Butler Turner in 2016 and served until the 2017 general election. He was also the host of Freedom March on ILTV. Verizon Media Group Chief Executive Officer Gershon Major issued a statement calling Moncur a devoted husband, loving father, trusted friend, and proud voice for the voiceless. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Philip Davis insisted Moncur captured the love and attention of the Bahamian people with his style, all his own, and a rare blend of fearless advocacy and sharp humor. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell said the country will miss the voice of irony and wit across the broadcast and public stage. Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg.
Yeah, happy TGIF birthday and happy TGIF everybody. A beautiful evening starting off for us on the outside. 77 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Your winds out of the east-northeast at 14 miles per hour, so those breezes haven't come down quite a bit yet, but they will continue to fall off. 75 degrees is what it feels like on the outside. Current temperatures around the islands right now, it is 75 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, also in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, 77 in Alistown, Bimini here in the capital. Then we pick up 76, Great Harbor Key over in Governor's Harbor. Nichols and Andros, 78. Into the Central Bahamas, 79 in Kemps Bay and in Georgetown, the Exumas, Black Point, the Exuma chain of, Keys. Also in Arthur Sound, Cat Island, Coburn Townsend, Zabata, Port Nelson, Runkey, and Deadman's Key, all 78s. 79, Duncantown, Ragged Island, Delectable Bay, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Abraham's Bay, Matthewtown, Inagua, 80 degrees, and our good neighbors to the southeast, Tricks and Caicos Islands, the upper temperature right now of 81. Satellite radar composite, it is quiet across us. Don't mind this high level moisture moving across the area. That is moving from west-east, not producing much clouds, but we still have a stiff easterly breeze bringing some showers between the western Bahamas and Florida. Bimini could see two of those showers as the evening goes on, but all in all, that high pressure system will continue to dominate our weather. Into the weekend, winds are starting to fall off and we're looking for some very warm temperatures during that time frame. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your weekend forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, you've seen the Little League World Series on ESPN and thought our kids should be there, right? Well, this current BBA administration aims to make that happen. We'll tell you how.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Welcome to Journey TV.
We do marketing and we do branding.
Training, you do everything.
I found that I'm my strongest when I am living in the very best version of myself.
Everybody looks at you and sees success, but they don't see the struggle.
Say that again, Ramona.
Downgrade your lifestyle, upgrade your hustle.
If we believe God is perfect.
Come on, McDonough, let's go.
Yeah.
Are we catching?
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. When the Bahamas Baseball Association rolled out its calendar of events for 2025, a central focus was on several youth initiatives, both local and international. One of the major goals for the BBA, to have the Bahamas represent the Caribbean at the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Another initiative by the BBA aims to streamline the development of junior national teams and have them continue to play together as they progress through different age groups. To that end, the U15 team that finished second to Cuba at the Caribbean Cup reconvenes for the Under-16 Pony Zone Championships this month in Ecuador.
Collegiate sprint hurdlers have been having a season to remember in both the indoor and outdoor seasons. Texas Tech Red Raiders junior Antoine Andrews turned in a personal best yesterday in the opening round of the Corky Crowfoot Shootout yesterday in Lubbock, Texas. Andrews won the 110-meter hurdles in 13.35 seconds, moving him to number 4 all-time in Red Raiders history. Oscar Smith's standout season at Louisiana Tech has earned him another accolade, Conference USA Men's Track Athlete of the Week. It's Smith's second Athlete of the Week award. His first was indoors. The senior hurdler ran a personal best 13.55 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles to finish third at the LSU Alumni Gold last week.
We all held our collective breath waiting on the results of Jazz Chisholm Jr.'s MRI. Results weren't great, but then again, not terrible. The Yankees announced that Chisholm was placed on the 10-day injured list with an oblique strain. The roster move is retroactive to April 30th, therefore Chisholm will be available again on May 10th. And we wrap things up with your 10 YS Plays of the Week. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world, as the humanitarian response in Gaza is on the verge of total collapse. We'll tell you why. Plus, power has been restored in parts of central Madrid after a massive blackout hit much of the Iberian Peninsula. And Prince Harry lost his legal challenge to changes to his security arrangements made by the British government following his decision to step down from royal duties with his American wife, Meghan. We have the details when our news returns.
Follow us as the Charlie Bahama Show takes the plunge in the beautiful Exuma Keys.
So you never know what you're going to see until you go down there.
Yeah, okay, well, I guess that's for us to go down there. I'm going to keep my shirt on because I don't want to make you look bad, you know?
Everything that we are comes from her except the soul. And so we got to be mindful of that. Right now I can feel her energy vibrating through my body.
I feel it too. I feel it too. So put on your mask and follow us down to see what lies beneath the beautiful waters of the Bahamas this Friday night at 8 p.m. on Cable Bahamas, Channel 212.
New season of Groovin' is here. It will have your emotions moving, grooving, and even sometimes scared. Get in the groove with 242 Groovin'.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The humanitarian response in Gaza is on the verge of total collapse as a result of the total blockade imposed by Israel, which has marked 2 months today. That warning coming from the International Red Cross. Since March 2nd, Israel has completely cut off all supplies to the 2.3 million residents of the Gaza Strip. Food stockpiled during a ceasefire at the start of the year has all but run out. It is the longest such closure the Gaza Strip has ever faced. Power has been restored in parts of central Madrid after a massive blackout hit much of the Iberian Peninsula. The 8-hour outage Monday brought chaos to Spain and Portugal, knocking out traffic lights, halting transport, and trapping people in elevators and metro stations. Hospitals were also affected. Spain and Portugal launched a joint investigation, with Spain activating a crisis committee. Some areas in France were also briefly impacted. Prince Harry lost his legal challenge to changes to his security arrangements made by the British government following his decision to step down from royal duties with his American wife, Meghan. Harry, King Charles's younger son, had sought to overturn a decision by the Home Office, which was decided in February 2020 that he would not automatically receive personal police security while in Britain. Last year, the High Court in London ruled the decision was lawful, and that decision was upheld by 3 senior Court of Appeal judges. Judge Jeffrey Voss said Harry's lawyer had made powerful and moving arguments about the impact of the decision about his security.
And I said that it was plain that the Duke of Sussex felt badly treated by the system. But I concluded, having studied the detail of the extensive documentation, I could not say that the Duke's sense of grievance translated into a legal argument for the challenge to RevX's decision.
General Motors is recalling nearly 600,000 SUVs and pickups from 2021 to 2024 due to possible engine defects that could lead to crashes. The recall affects Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Silverados and Tahoes, and GMC Yukons. Officials say a faulty engine part could cause loud knocking, warning lights, and even sudden loss of power while driving. GM says only about 3% of vehicles are likely affected, but dealers will inspect and fix any problems for free. Owners will be notified by mail starting June 9th. More than 179,000 Safety First child car seats are being recalled due to a possible choking hazard. Manufacturer Durrell Juvenile Group says foam in the headrest of its Grow and Go Sprint models may come loose, allowing small children to pick it up, and potentially choke. The recall affects seats made between February 28th and December 31st, 2023. Durrell is not asking customers to return the seats. Instead, the company will mail free replacement headrest pads to registered owners starting June 9th. Hundreds of thousands of Cubans gathered in Havana's Revolution Square on Thursday for the annual May Day parade, showcasing unity amid economic hardship. 93-year-old Raul Castro made an appearance dressed in a military uniform, and President Miguel Diaz-Canal presided over the march and greeted participants. According to parade participants, the event was a significant moment of revolutionary reaffirmation. The Cuban government attributes the harsh ongoing economic crisis to intensified U.S. sanctions, which have severely impacted the island's economy. Still to come in our news today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was May 2nd. And then in our news at 7:30, our fire coverage comes back into focus as the Ministry of Tourism assessed the damage following last night's blaze. And a woman is ordered to pay $5,000 after her dog bit her neighbor. We've got the details from the court proceedings. That's coming up when our news returns.
The wait is over. We're back with a new season of 242 The Gospel. Great artists, new videos exploding on the countdown. Will Najia be able to continue to turn the pages at #1, or will someone else rewrite her story? Let's see on this season of 242 The Gospel.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
Day in Bahamian history in 1902, Mabel Cordelia Holloway was born in Greenville, South Carolina. The Historical Society notes Mabel Walker moved to the Bahamas after meeting her future husband, Claudius Roland Walker, whom the school C.R. Walker Senior Secondary School is named after. She taught at the Bahamas Technical Institute and later at Woodcock Primary, where she became headmistress. She became an advocate for teachers in the Bahamas and was the founder of the Bahamas Union of Teachers. Then on this day in 2002, voters across 40 constituencies headed to the polls with a record number of 132 candidates. Hubert Ingram of the Free National Movement, who was Prime Minister at the time, announced his intention to step down from the post after the election. Tommy Turnquest was voted leader-elect the year prior. Perry Christie, who was then leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, led his party to a landslide victory. 5 years later, in 2007, voters headed to the polls on this day, and this time Hubert Ingram, who was earlier elected leader of the FNM once again, replaced Tommy Turnquest and ran against incumbent Perry Christie. The election result was very close, with the FNM winning 23 seats and the PLP 18. Ingram was sworn in as Prime Minister 2 days later, marking his third term in office. Then May 2nd, 2015 saw the second International Amateur Athletic Federation IAAF World Relays take place at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Then in 2021, the Bahamas recorded a grim milestone as health officials reported the COVID-19 death toll had surpassed 200. The number stood at 209 at the time. Health officials said 6 cases previously under investigation had been confirmed. This as fire officials battled a blaze off Balfour Avenue that destroyed homes and businesses on the same day.
St. Augustine's College opened their Bahamian Day celebrations with an award ceremony honoring their student athletes who participated in this month's Carifta Games. Nearly a quarter of the 120 athletes that competed in Trinidad and Tobago over the Easter holiday weekend were SAC students. 10th graders Egan Neely and Jacario Wilson won 4 gold medals each. They were a part of the Carifta record-breaking under-17 boys 4x400 relay team. The pair, along with SAC's athletic director Jason Edwards, talked about what the achievements mean.
You watch them grow from grade 7, 8, 9, and now they're in grade 10. And these kids are putting the hard work. The coaches have worked really hard, and they showcase their talent for the world to see. We always knew these kids were talented, and they just did it on a bigger stage this time on a different platform. And the SAC family is extremely proud.
Being able to bring back all these goals back to the country is such a nice feeling, and being able to break the record is so wonderful. So I'm glad to come back and see the country proud of us.
It's good competing with my teammates, my schoolmates, the person I see every day, and it feels good breaking a record. Somebody maybe next week goes to right next week and bring back home, just feel amazing.
Well, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, visit rnews.bs. Well, that does it for our news at 7. Joining us now is our Atalia Hall with the latest headlines. Good evening, Atalia.
Good evening, Berthany. TGIF. It's been a long week. Well, coming up, the Freeport Business Expo into day 2 on Grand Bahama. Arcandino Knowles is live tonight. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our News Live at 7:30, a destructive blaze in the heart of Nassau reduced 4 buildings to rubble and left dozens homeless. Our Berthany McDermott was on the scene. Also, residents are sharing their heartbreak and frustration following the massive blaze. Plus, the downtown fire may leave more than just physical scars. This as officials say the impact could ripple across the country's tourism product. And the fire now prompting questions about whether our firefighters have the tools they need. Our Joshua Williams is live from Victoria Avenue tonight when our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Sleepy Lex has taken over the charts, but we got newcomers like Devondre and NF Trey climbing up to reach that #1 spot, while Travis Clark and Chase Fernandez is applying big pressure. Who will be #1 on upcoming shows of Rev Up? Buckle your seatbelt and find out. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Are you ready?
Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy Charlie Bahama, and we are here at the Wine and Food Festival here at Atlantis. And man, I got a plate full of... Okay, now who took my food? Now who took...
What do you think Shaggy said? Well, you gotta wait until the new season of the Charlie Bahama Show starts with Shaggy himself. Also episodes with Chef Jose Andres, Bahamian chefs, John Baptiste, and trips to the Family Islands. Charlie Bahama Show, coming April 25th, 8 p.m. on Cable Bahamas, channel 212.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results.
For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product.
Massive fire lighting up the heart of downtown Nassau Thursday night, including damage to a decades-old apartment complex. Nearly 30 families, now displaced and devastated, stood by as their homes were impacted by the fire. The fire moved quickly, shutting down roads and drawing an all-night response from fire crews. We begin this half hour with the fire, heartbreak, and lingering questions still weighing heavily on the minds of residents. Welcome to our news. I'm Natalia Hall. Thanks so much for joining us. That massive blaze at the heart of Nassau City, damaging 4 buildings, including an apartment complex. 29 families watched everything they owned go up in flames as they stood by and watched in horror last night. Officials taking a multi-governmental approach to contain the blaze, drawing on support from Airport Fire Services, the Defense Force, the Ministry of Works, and the Water and Sewage Corporation. Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles telling us police were called to the incident around 8:40 Thursday night, but firefighters had to call for more backup. The Lyndon Pindling International Airport was shut down, and that fire truck was redirected to the scene. However, the truck didn't get on scene until 11:15 p.m.
We've had some strong winds out here, and the embers from the fire were blowing into the roofs and started the fires to the other buildings. And so, unfortunately, we lost 4 buildings tonight. Water was not a challenge. We had water in our trucks, all 6 trucks that responded to this. Along with the Defense Force, and we were pumping from the sea. So we did not have a challenge with water. We still don't have a challenge with water.
Communications Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latre Ramming, telling us Prime Minister Philip Davis was updated on the matter. Randy Roll, who was chair of the Downtown Revitalization Project, stressed the need to remove abandoned buildings from the downtown area.
This tonight is evidence why it is so important. I think that the message is clear. I think that this is something that we need to continue, and I'm hopeful and thankful, and I believe that, the Deputy Prime Minister, the entire administration will do what it takes to make sure that we safeguard Bahamians far and wide.
Now, we also spoke with a resident who expressed gratitude for life and efforts by fire crews. The full clip is available now on all of our social media pages at Our News Bahamas. While the flames tore through the Victoria Court apartment complex off Bay Street, residents are sharing their heartbreak and frustration as they look for answers. Our Delvardo Emmanuel revisited the scene today and has the story.
Behind me is what remains of the Victoria Court apartment complex after being torn apart by an overnight fire. The apartment complex was home to many Bahamians, some of them sharing their stories.
Where are the powers that should be? Where are they? Why are they not here? The building could have been saved.
Dozens of firefighters battling a blaze for hours and thousands of gallons of water wasn't enough to tame the furious blaze that destroyed several buildings in the downtown district overnight. One of them was the Victoria Court complex. Ken Forbes, who is a 2-year resident of the complex, says he was at church when he got the call about the fire. Forbes says the fire moved fast.
My first picture I took was about 8:45 or so, and that was when the fire was still in the front of Bay Street. So being on the top floor, I could see the fire. Took a picture, grabbed my passport, grabbed my laptop, and run out. Probably about 9:45 is when the first fire truck got here.
Forbes lost everything, only managing to grab his passport and laptop before running out. While grateful for life, Forbes has many questions about how the blaze spread so quickly and the response to contain it.
It puts you in a perspective. What happens if this fire was actually at the hospital? How would we respond to that? And just to see the response is deplorable.
I also spoke to Francisco de Cardenas. He, along with his family, live in their Victoria Avenue home for over 30 years. It was a painful sight to see the home he raised his 3 children in reduced to rubble.
I'm on the top floor, so everything gone. I passed by it this morning. I couldn't really look.
He's now forced to stay with a relative.
I love downtown. I love that building. Right now my kids are away, so I was there with my 2 dogs, and I feel a little empty right now.
As for what both men will do moving forward,
it's tough. It's going to be tough.
I lost everything. What you see right now is all that I have. So I'm starting from scratch.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
All right, thanks for that, Delvardo. Well, the overnight blaze in the heart of the tourist district, prompting officials from the Ministry of Tourism to visit the smoldering site this morning, where they told reporters the impact will be felt far beyond Bay Street. Our Danielle Miller has that angle.
My team and I walked Bay Street, and what was important for us was that we knew that the fire occurred, but we also wanted to be sure that there was no impact to the visitor experience. And so together we walked Bay Street, and it's still bustling.
Tourism Director General Letitia Duncombe led a delegation of industry stakeholders as they toured the destruction caused by last night's fire. She noted, images of the fire have also made international headlines. But when it comes to any actual impact on visitors,
we've been in touch with the cruise port, and all of the cruise lines have also been notified. And so the visitor experience, the 40,000 cruise ship passengers on a busy day that would traverse Nassau, downtown, and the surrounding areas, those visitors can still come and enjoy the destination.
Anthony Bostwick from the Downtown Revitalization Unit was among those touring the devastation. Bostwick told reporters that there's a lot to learn from the incident. He says the blaze marked a turning point in their efforts to revitalize East Bay Street.
In private discussions with many of the owners in addressing bringing down a lot of the derelict buildings. As you can see, we are in a very dry season, and it only takes a spark to get a fire going, as we experienced last night. So therefore, we now have to come back to the table by like tomorrow and say we have to now take these things down, or you have to do your repairs and maintenance.
This was not the first time Bay Street has come under threat due to fire. On September 4th, 2001, the world-famous straw market was destroyed by a blaze. It led to a new modern home for the popular tourist site. Then, on Valentine's Day 2011, a fire swept through Betty K agencies and destroyed a number of buildings and businesses in the immediate area. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Well, this latest incident renews calls for government to provide firefighters around the country with more resources to fight fires. Our Joshua Williams is standing by on Victoria Avenue with an update from the scene, as well as a look back on the recent blaze that have put a strain on the fire department. Josh, what can you tell us this evening?
Good evening, Natalia, and yes, you at home would have heard our Berthany McDermott and Delvardo Emmanuel describe in detail the tragedy that would have occurred here last night. Now, so far, crews are still here cleaning up, putting out small pockets of fire, as well as clearing up debris that would have now spilled onto Bay Street. Officers still trying to gain some sort of control of the situation. Our cars are still trying to drive through. But this latest incident raises the question, why don't we have the necessary resources needed to fight fires? This year, firefighters have had their hands full, battling blazes on several islands including New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, and Eleuthera, just to name a few. The fires have shone a light on the lack of firefighting resources across the country, particularly in the Family Islands. Not enough fire trucks, non-functioning hydrants, or trucks running out of water have been some of the challenges. Back in March, when that wildfire on Carmichael Road threatened the safety of residents, Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles said the force was looking overseas for new supplies.
We are looking at new equipment. We have already visited 2 locations in Europe to determine if the equipment in those locations can assist us better. In a short time, we will present our documents to the government, a very, very short time.
On the Family Islands, the situation has been more dire. Some don't have fire trucks or equipment, with residents making up volunteer groups to fight the blaze. This was the case in the Berry Islands and Eleuthera recently.
Where we fight the fire right now, a fire truck can't get. And so we have the right equipment with a tank on a trailer that we can get. We can just hook up to a 4x4 truck and pull it through the rough terrains to get to where the fire's at. That don't dispel that we don't need a fire truck. We need a fire truck.
At the scene last night, there were also issues, including malfunctioning fire hydrants that hindered hard-working firefighters from getting water. A fire truck from the Lynden Pinling International Airport eventually arriving after 11, temporarily shutting down operations there. There was also the case last month when a blaze ripped through Solomon's Old Trail, the new course ride, and adjoining office complex that was slated to house several government departments.
We were able to get the assistance of the airport fire and rescue team and also officers from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force to assist us here. And so the efforts continue. We are now using water from one of the blue holes nearby to see how much that can assist us in knocking down the fire on this portion of the buildings.
Now, Italia, there was also a fire earlier today off of Cowpen Road near a church. A number of homes threatened in that community. We're still waiting to get an update from police officers on that. But as for right now here on Bay Street, we expect crews to continue to work into the night to try and get this road open as soon as possible. Italia?
All right, thanks so much, George. Clearly a tough day for so many families. That's our Joshua Williams reporting live tonight from Victoria Avenue. Well, a woman has been ordered to pay $5,000 in compensation after her dog bit a 5-year-old girl. On April 20th, a Belgian Malinois belonging to Christone Rogers broke free from his enclosure at Broadfield Road off Culbert Hill and went into the neighbor's backyard. That's when the dog bit the child who was at the pool with relatives. Rogers pleaded guilty to having a dangerous dog. She was ordered to pay the money to avoid spending 6 months in prison. Well, the Freeport Business Expo, spearheaded by the Grand Bahama Port Authority, is into day 2 on Grand Bahama with a pitch competition. We'll get to that story in a moment, but first, whether you're staying in or heading out, it's shaping up to be a gorgeous end of the week. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, what can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy TGIF, everybody. Nice evening on the outside. Temperatures rather comfortable. 77 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. Winds out of the east-northeast at 14 miles per hour. Your feels-like temperature is at 75. Satellite radar composite. We have some high-level moisture moving from west to east across the northern Bahamas, but high pressure at the surface and aloft is dominating our weather. Dry conditions mostly across the entire chain of island, the exception being just to the west of our area. Bimini, western Grand Bahama, you could see 1 or 2 spotty showers tonight, but that high pressure will continue to dominate our weather, providing us with some nice conditions into the weekend. That's your quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, we're live in Grand Bahama where the Freeport Business Expo continues. And today's pitch competition is giving entrepreneurs major opportunities. Plus, could the long-abandoned Xanadu Beach Hotel be a part of a multi-million-dollar Royal Caribbean project? The cruise giant's land purchase is sparking new optimism in Freeport. And later, there's a new twist on a classic product. It's the new Vitamalt flavor everyone's buzzing about. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Point Town.
ready to shop till you drop. The Vitamalt shopping spree is back, and you could be the next winner of a $500 shopping spree. Here's how to enter. Buy a 6-pack of ginger, acai, or coconut and hibiscus Vitamalt from any Super Value or 700 Wines and Spirits location. Snap a picture of your receipt and WhatsApp your name and photo of the receipt to 825-2191. This promotion ends Saturday, April 19th. Will you be the next lucky shopper? Vitamalt. Vitalize next.
It's the final day of the Freeport Business Expo with more than a dozen international tourism vendors in town. The goal is simple: spark new partnerships with local entrepreneurs and give visitors more to do in Grand Bahama. Our Candino Knowles is in Grand Bahama for the 2-day event, and he's on the floor now. Candino, you promise us you'll show us more toys. What can you tell us?
Yes, Italia, final night of Freeport Business Expo. Behind me, things are starting to come down. But here now, I'm sitting in this pink fiberglass made paddle board. Reason I'm sitting in it is because I get to be the first in it before it makes its way to perhaps Taino Beach, or maybe, hey, Celebration Key, as Carnival is getting set to open come July. And that's because this has been sold. The company that brought this product to Grand Bahama is Key Park Recreations. They brought 3 products, all 3 of them sold. Grand Bahama Port Authority putting international service and product providers in the tourism space, putting them in touch with local entrepreneurs. Beyond that, today we saw $40,000 up for grabs, 5 local business owners all vying for a piece of the pie. Take a look. This year's pitch competition at Freeport Business Expo gave local entrepreneurs a shot at turning their tourism dreams into reality, thanks to Grand Bahama Port Authority and its partners. From virtual scuba tours and beach lockers to pedal bikes and luxe picnics, the pitches were bold, fun, and authentically Bahamian. But first place prizes of $12,500 went to D'Angelo Carey for port lockers.
Next step for us is expansion, being able to set up smaller remote locations.
And Taria Lundy's 15-seater Pirate Pedals bike tour.
I've been chasing this dream since 2018. So now seeing it come to life and having the funding to do that is perfect.
One pitch even got an on-the-spot investment.
It's kind of life-changing because this has been a very long journey for me.
Reno Mizik didn't win first place, but one of the judges, David Wallace at Pirates Cove, offered to back his conch excursion idea right there on stage. All 5 entrepreneurs walked away with funding and, more importantly, valuable feedback from a panel of seasoned judges who grilled them on everything from liability to funding caps. GBPA Chief Investment Officer Derek Newbold was one of them.
I think we have a lot of unique ideas here, and we need to have Bahamians invest in their economy.
For the entrepreneurs, for example, today, for the entrepreneurs coming up with new ideas, coming up with new business plans that they need sponsorship for. This is the moment.
Yes, Italia, and we certainly want to send a congratulations to all of those business owners who participated in the pitch competition today. That means our coverage of Freeport Business Expo is coming to an end, but hey, we will end as we started. Yesterday, we were riding high or sitting high on the Rolls Royce of ATVs right in front of me. The Bahamian-owned company that supplies these ATVs, Bahama Blast, told me, they put me in a new one today. They said this one is the Ferrari of ATVs, and I want to start it so you can hear why it's the Ferraris of the Ferrari of ATVs. You hear that? That is so smooth. Listen, they are still breaking down because the expo has come to an end. Hopefully they let me drive it out because I got to get out some kind of how, right? For now, in Freeport, Grand Bahama, I'm Candino Knowles, reporting for our news. Back to you, Italia.
All right, thanks so much, Candino. Our Candino Knowles reporting for us live in Grand Bahama tonight. Well, there's new buzz around the long-shuttered Xanadu Beach Hotel, and Royal Caribbean may be behind it. The Central Bank revealed this week that the cruise giant and its upscale Celebrity Cruises affiliate got government's approval to acquire 40 acres of land in Freeport as a part of a proposed $348 million plan to develop new recreational and entertainment spaces. Grand Bahama Port Authority President Ian Roll says while the GBPA isn't directly involved in the deal, it's still promising news.
we welcome all developments, right? It could be Royal Caribbean, MSC, Disney. We want them all to come to Freeport, right? So we're not directly involved in that transaction. However, obviously there's interest, right, by Royal Caribbean. But I think the deal isn't done yet. It's just a strong interest. But I've also encouraged persons, let's wait until Royal Caribbean tells the story.
Coming up in sports, the BBA looks ahead to junior national team travel. Sprint hurdlers take center stage in the NCAA. We get a look at the timeline on Jazz's injury. And of course, your 10YS Plays of the Week.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger with a flavor so secret it's almost too delicious to handle? Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. When the Bahamas Baseball Association rolled out its calendar of events for 2025, a central focus was on several youth initiatives, both local and international. One of the major goals for the BBA, to have the Bahamas represent the Caribbean at the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
As most of you have seen on ESPN for a lot of years, the Bahamas has never gotten a chance to represent the Caribbean at that tournament. We've tried several times, and I can assure you, and please put on the record, that within the next 4 years, the Bahamas will be there. So remember the state.
Another initiative by the BBA aims to streamline the development of junior national teams and have them continue to play together as they progress through different age groups. To that end, the U15 team that finished second to Cuba at the Caribbean Cup reconvenes for the Under-16 Pony Zone Championships this month in Ecuador.
All of the teams are staffed with well-equipped coaches that are going to assist us in baseball and softball and moving the country forward.
Collegiate sprint hurdlers have been having a season to remember in both the indoor and outdoor seasons. Texas Tech Red Raiders junior Antoine Andrews turned in a personal best yesterday in the opening round of the Corky Crowfoot Shootout yesterday in Lubbock, Texas. Andrews won the 110-meter hurdles in 13.35 seconds, moving him to number 4 all-time in Red Raiders history. Earlier this season, he tied the program record in the 60-meter hurdles in 7.25 seconds, and at the NCAA Indoor Championships, he finished 6th in the nation in 7.56 seconds. Oscar Smith's standout season at Louisiana Tech has earned him another accolade, Conference USA Men's Track Athlete of the Week. It's Smith's second Athlete of the Week award. His first was indoors. The senior hurdler ran a personal best 13.55 seconds in the 110-meter hurdles to finish third at the LSU Alumni Gold last week, the 7th fastest time in program history. He ranks 20th in the nation and 7th in the East region while having a top time in CUSA.
We all held our collective breath waiting on the results of Jazz Chisholm Jr.'s MRI. Results weren't great, but then again, not terrible. The Yankees announced that Chisholm was placed on the 10-day injured list with an oblique strain. The roster move is retroactive to April 30th, therefore Chisholm will be available again on May 10th. The Yankees currently lead the AL East at 18-13. In 30 games this season, Chisholm is hitting .181 with 7 home runs, 17 RBI, 6 stolen bases, and slugging .410. It's the first Friday in May, and it's going to feel like 15 minutes before we speed our way through to the summer. Until then, let's get going with our first top plays of the month. We get started at 5 in the NBA playoffs, and this was the only highlight we could find of this game that is very forgettable.
Coming back in at number 4, remember who set the tone defensively for the Warriors in the Game 4 win? We do. Check out Shavano.
At 3, Christian Robinson is already approaching last season's numbers, and we're not even halfway through this one yet.
At number 2, the glove is on point everywhere, but it's different at second base. Must be a torpedo glove.
And at 1, literally hours after Carifta ended, it was on to the next. These kids are going to be all right, especially this Egan Neely kid. The Bahamas showed out at the Penn Relays. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS, a couple hours away from tip-off. Any nervous energy for tonight?
Nope. Warriors in 6.
I don't believe you. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, a fresh new addition to the Vitamalt lineup has officially launched. Find out where you can get it and what it tastes like when our news continues. Stay with us.
Very excited, and I can't believe it. It's it's a dream come true. When she did call me yesterday about it, I didn't know what to believe. Thanks to Mr. Coleman and this whole staff for what they do, and making sure the customers are taken care of, making sure we enjoy the gaming they do give to us. Chances is the great house to play, even down to the staff, is perfect. You're going to marvel.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Paint Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, color is more than just a hue, it's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
Stop shopping here for the family, community who need Southwest Plaza. Come shop with us. Shop, shop, we've got so many stores. Shop, shop, our prices are right. Come spend the day, bring the family. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day. Panel by panel, our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, INTI redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power
This is our news. Welcome back. We have been dry for the last several weeks. Not much in terms of any rainfall in the rain gauge. High pressure has been a persistent, dominant weather feature across the area, and it's much the same as we speak. That high pressure system staying with us. It's going to continue to provide us with a dry air mass across the area. Tight pressure gradient that we've been experiencing for the last couple of days has fallen off, so the winds are starting to fall off, and we've been having some fires. We had a fire here in the capital last night. We also have a very large fire. I saw some images up there in Abaco, so we're asking you to exercise caution if you plan on doing anything on the outdoors that involve any kind of fires. Actually, not to get in any kind of fires at all. Wider scope showing a strong storm system across the central portions of the United States. That is the system we expect to get near sometime by Sunday into Monday. That will bring us at least expected some relief from the dry conditions, possibly even seeing an isolated thunderstorm across the northwest Bahamas. Taking a look at the future forecast, not much happening out there. Few spotty showers across the northwest Bahamas. That will continue to be the trend throughout the night and into tomorrow. But we will continue to have that dry air mass in place. And of course, as I mentioned, not much in terms of any significant weather. Boating forecast coming down nicely around the islands, but the Atlantic still a little choppy. East to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet, but building up to 6 feet in the Atlantic side. High tide is at 12:58 in the morning. Low tide takes place at 7:34. For the central and southeast Bahamas, those winds a little stiffer, but east to southeasterly, 15 to 20 knots, 4 to 6 foot seas expected. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, moisture coming with the front, bringing some showers across our area starting Saturday. We could get a relief Sunday into Monday, but that moisture plume will continue to stay with us till Tuesday, so we can stick some showers in there. Temperatures will be very warm for the upcoming week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night and have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, the Bahamas has made history, becoming the first country to launch Vitamalt's newest flavor of vanilla. Commonwealth Brewery unveiled a new edition with Our News today, marking another major milestone in the company's growing business. The new flavor was crafted with a unique Bahamian twist, delivering a smooth, refreshing taste with no added sugar. The innovation was developed for health-conscious consumers looking for better-for-you beverage options. Brand manager Daniel Smith explains the release caters to evolving customer needs, while Director of Marketing and Partnerships Andre Wolf share how the flavor was inspired by Bahamian culture.
So there's nothing to worry about for our consumers that are getting up in age, those that are on their wellness journey, or are trying to curb health issues early. It's all about Vitamalt Vanilla today. We want to encourage our customers to stop into 700 Wines and Spirits, Super Value, or AML locations and purchase your Vitamalt Vanilla.
Here in the Bahamas, we have the highest consumption of Vitamalt per capita anywhere on the globe. And Vitamalt Vanilla was born actually here in the Bahamas from Bahamian culture and Bahamian insights. It comes from stories of families mixing Vitamalt Classic with cream.
All right, well, I have one that I'm taking home tonight, and I can't wait to try it. With that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already